Hello, you are listening to the voice of the Lakota ancestors. I am now receiving a transmission from an ancient voice from Paris, France. The voice will now speak.
Je suis au restaurant, mais je ne veux pas manger, et je ne sais pas pourquoi.
Once again, this is the voice of the Lakota ancestors. And now, a really cool guy is going to talk. How me talking happy wanna let you happy ki hecha na mahpia na mahaju ashu pia kalmongelo. The you ha yopia wochicha kapelo Lakota haka chik ala toka akan yonke emachapelo ash washichia David Little Elk emachapelo. You know, Itazipco-Oyate hetan na tesi chunhu oyate hetan na ehani wakpawashte elwa tielo. Gash wana petikule ya shitama koche elwa tielo na yuha chonte was stand up at you zapelo. Welcome everyone. I greet you all as relations because everything is connected. And I said it's nighttime here. Actually, it's evening time, and it is cloudy. Every now and then, a little bit chilly, but I am doing pretty good, and I'm happy to be here to talk to you in my own voice. In the English language, I am called David Little Elk. Yeah, I had to think there for a second, yeah. And my mother's from the Cheyenne River Sioux Reservation, and my father's from the Rosebud Sioux Reservation, and there's Ochli in my eye. Just kidding. Of course, you say that kind of thing on the air. Yeah? Wait a minute, there's an Ochli in my eye. Shoot. Oh man. That's horrible. Oh, shoot. And anyway, I grew up on the Cheyenne River Sioux Res, and currently I'm living in Germany, and I shake all your hands from my heart. And, gosh, that's just goofing off there at the beginning of the show. I suppose some people out there thought I was really serious, and I thought I would start the show in a kind of unique way, so there you go. and now a really cool guy is gonna talk. Shoot. Anyway, well, there's a reason why I started the show like that. There's this movement called spiritualism. And this movement is relatively young. There was a time in American history around the 1840s. The United States was mostly located on the eastern, basically from the Mississippi River and then to the east. And somewhere around the 1840s, there was a religious fervor going around. It became like a fad. And during that time period, in the 1840s, it was religion. People were coming up with strange ideas to form new churches. So from that time period, we get the Mormons, for example. So around the same time period, there was another movement called spiritualism that also began. They say, now according to them, they say that the way their movement started was with two sisters. They were going to bed and they were kind of goofing around, so they decided to see what would happen if they knock on the wall that is facing outside the house. The other side is outside, is what I meant. So they knocked a certain pattern on this wall, and here a few seconds later, something knocked back. So they did rhythms. Yeah, they did different rhythmic knocking. And then the other side, somebody knocked back the same way. And so they say that was their first recorded event of contact with the other side. Yeah, other side of the wall, but not that doesn't necessarily mean, the other side of, whatever. It's just the other side of the wall. What's so big about that, yeah? So that's where it started. And then it got strong in England. There was a lady, her name is Estelle Roberts. Back in the early 1900s or so, she claimed to have contact with the chief Red Cloud from the Pine Ridge Reservation. So, allegedly, she was doing these seances to sell out audiences and so forth, and people really believed what she was doing, that allegedly Red Cloud would inhabit her body and speak through her. So, their basic belief system is that after you die, that there are several phases, several areas, one after the other. So when you die, you go to the one that's very close to our reality, conscious reality. And there you get prepared to eventually get to heaven. But you have to go through all these schools or something. So when you get to the second level, you're going further away from this reality, our conscious reality. So the more further you go, the more difficult it is for that soul to contact our reality. That's their belief. So, for some reason, this is according to the spiritualists, they say that Native American Indians don't want to go through that school. So what they do is they stay at this first level. And what they do is they contact people who are still alive, and they're like messengers for people who just died. So, for example, let's invent an imaginary couple here, okay? Let's use Joseph and Mary. Jesus' parents. Yeah, let's use Joseph and Mary. Okay. Well, let's say Mary dies. She was stampeded by donkeys or something, mules. So she died, and so now Mary goes to the other side and meets this Lakota soul named Crazy Horse, okay? And then she talks to Crazy Horse in English, of course, and evidently Crazy Horse speaks English. And so she says, I need to give a message to my husband, Joseph. I want you to tell him I'm doing okay, I'm happy, and make sure you turn the oven off. There's still bread in the oven. So Crazy Horse says, oh, gee, I better hurry up. And then, so Crazy Horse comes over to Joseph, and let's say there's a trumpet on Joseph's table. So Crazy Horse goes to this trumpet, and he hollers through the trumpet. Hey, Joseph, he says. This is Crazy Horse, famous Lakota chief. Mary, she just talked to me, and she's really happy, by the way. So she told you, not to be afraid, and don't be sad, don't cry, because she's really happy. She's in a good place, and she's gonna wait for you. But she told you to turn the oven off because there's still bread in there, and she doesn't want it to burn. That way, you still have something to eat tonight. Okay, message transmitted, over. This is what the spiritualists do. This is basically what they do. This is their belief system. So, now, let's follow Mary here, okay? So Mary, she goes to this level 1 school, and then when she's going to level 2, she says goodbye to Crazy Horse, and then she goes to level 2, and she continues until she's done. And then she gets to heaven. This is their belief. So the further she goes, the further away from Joseph she is, and so she can't contact him. So when she goes to level 2, she can't be flirting with Lakota guys anymore, yeah? So she has to move on. And then Crazy Horse is going to help the next one that comes. This is their belief system, and so they believe that they can learn to become mediums that contact these souls. And they believe that when they become a medium, they get an Indian spirit guide. Why do they have to be Indian? Why not Polish? Yeah? Why not popes? I mean, geez, these popes were like leaders of the Catholic Church, 1/6 of the world's population is Catholic, and why not the popes? Why don't they have popes for their guardian angels or their spirit guides? Why does it have to be Indians? I don't get that. Why not monkeys? Why not monkeys? Why don't they contact monkeys? I mean, geez, they have these Lakota guys that lived in the 1800s talking English. So my guess is that monkeys can talk English too in the spirit world. Yeah? Everybody talks English in the spirit world. Gee. My goodness, that's awful, I think, that all spirits just speak English. That's just awful. My. So that's essentially what they do. And so they all get Indian guides, and they come up with some ridiculous things. Like this lady that I was talking about in the early 1900s. She says, Red Cloud is doing a wonderful work for his people. And through her, she's writing all of it down, that he talks to her every day and is telling her all the wonderful things that he's doing for his people. And that one day she's supposed to give this book to his people so that they will know and they won't be sad that he's gone. Well, this lady should have did her history, because the truth is that Red Cloud's not seen in a good light among Lakota people. You go to any reservation and talk to somebody really old about Red Cloud, and you're going to hear something that you don't hear in too many books. What you're going to hear is that at the end, he betrayed his own people. He tried to sell the Black Hills behind everybody else's back when he was still alive, and he was not seen in a good light, and he is responsible for the assassination of Crazy Horse. He was jealous of him. This is a known fact. When you have a lady from England saying that she's channeling this Red Cloud and that he's doing a wonderful work for his people, and if she's supposed to take this to the Lakota people, specifically Pine Ridge, at least half of the people are going to say, heck with him. The guy's an asshole. You see? He's not seen in a good light. So she didn't do her history good enough. Yeah, she didn't do that good enough. The other thing is that if this really, really could happen, what the hell are the Lakota spirits doing in England? England, the countryside is nice, but the Black Hills, that is amazing. If you ever go to the Black Hills, this is a very beautiful land. Don't go to the tourist areas, but you go into the nature of the Black Hills. This is incredibly beautiful. And when you're looking at guys from the 1800s, the 1700s, even further back in time, even in the times before Christ, the Black Hills is very beautiful. It's an oasis in the prairie. Yeah, it is just amazing. It has healing energy in it. This is why we consider this our temple. If we had a church, it would be the Black Hills. People went to the Black Hills to get healed. There are hot springs in the southeast part of the Black Hills, and people went there to get cured for thousands of years. Why would we want to go to England when we've never been there before? Let's look at the year 600, and you have Lakota people in and around the Black Hills area. Why would they want to go to England? That's a good question. Why would they want to go to England? Because see, when you think like that, you would think, I want to go to a place that's holy. I want to be there. That would be the Black Hills. That was our medicine area. That's where we came out from the earth. Twice. Once when we first came out, and we went in there again when the grandmother Earth was going to cleanse herself. We went back in there. And then when the cleansing was over, we came out there again the second time. Suppose we're going to go back in there again. You never know. So that's the holy area. Why would we go to England? Then it comes to the question of, what is a soul? Can a soul have a language? Can a soul speak? How can a soul speak when the voice belongs to the body? How can a soul have emotions when the emotions belong to the physical body? How can a soul have a personality when the personality belongs to the body? It belongs to the mind. The mind belongs to the body. Like the story one time of this guy, when he was in high school, he got into a serious car accident. He was a super athletic guy, macho guy, different girlfriend every weekend, just really athletic. He got into a serious car accident, almost died, went into a coma. While he was in his coma, and his head was healing itself, his brain rewired itself. So when he came out of his coma, he was a totally different man. Totally different personality. Now he was a teddy bear. He was a sweet guy. Totally changed. The mind rewired. The personality comes from the mind. And the mind belongs to the body. So how can a soul have a personality? These are just questions. So Lakota Star Knowledge belief states that the soul has no mind, it has no personality, it has no voice, and it has no emotions. It has no form. That totally shatters spiritualism and any other kind of religion that believes in these kind of things. But why do people believe it? Why are people so quick to jump at it? Because it's using emotion. Most religions do that. They appeal to your emotion. When somebody close to you dies, you're all worked up and you're all emotional about it. This is the gateway to fall into these kind of traps. That's why in the Lakota way, when somebody dies, you have to really be careful for 4 days. 4 days after that person dies, you can't be alone. You always have to have somebody with you, because otherwise you could lose your emotional self and you could go crazy, literally. You really have to be careful. Then the mourning period begins 4 days after the person dies. Then that's when you cry. I mean, you can cry before that too, that's no problem. But the mourning period begins 4 days after the person dies. But during that first 4 days, you should not be alone. And you can cry, that's no problem, but you should not be alone. You should have some support. Because something unhealthy could happen that's going to come through these emotions. That's going to push a fear from your mind, and it's going to appear in front of you. You could go crazy from that. You could become schizophrenic from that. It's not the explanation for why people get schizophrenia. That's not the explanation, but you could get it this way. So that's why they say you should not be alone for 4 days after somebody dies. You should always be with somebody. Families always should be together. Never let anyone be alone. during that 4 days. That's our way. That's really ancient. So when you look at our belief system, the ancient Lakota star knowledge way, that's what I'm telling you, is the star knowledge version of these things. See, here's the other thing. We believe in reincarnation. So who really are the ancestors? Think about that one. It's a good question. But the question I was asking earlier is, why is it that people are so quick to believe these things? Well, in duality, people only see two perspectives. And when this happens, whenever they feel an emotion, they trap it. Whatever emotion it is, they trap it for as long as possible. In Lakota star knowledge, when you go through a difficulty and you start making the best of it, that emotion leaves and brings you peace. Okay? But that you have to learn, though. You have to make the best of it. Otherwise, it won't work. And that experience will keep happening until you do learn from it. So, in duality, as soon as a difficulty comes, they deny it. They ignore it, they deny it, they trap the emotion, so they never can have peace. Which means they don't know themselves. In Lakota star knowledge, the way to achieve peace inside of you includes taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally, but it also includes getting to know yourself, coming to peace with your past. And when you do that, that's when you find peace. And then you have to nurture it. You nurture it by making the best of your difficulties and enjoying the good times. That's how you nurture it and maintain that peace within you. So emotions leave, but you're going to experience them then again. You will be happy again. So that's how that works in Lakota star knowledge. Because people know who they are. They took the time to check themselves out. In duality, they run away from themselves. Because when a difficulty comes, they turn away from it, call it a mistake, call it a failure, without even checking it out. And they hang on to an emotion. Whatever it is, they force it to stay. That's why they can't have peace. And if they can't have peace, they do not know themselves anymore. So they look for peace around them. And this is where these religions come into play. So they see something that makes them feel good, because they want to feel that emotion. They're going only for the emotion. And that's what these religions do. They appeal to your emotions. So they get you. They trap you. Or you trap yourself, I mean. They don't know themselves. That's why they don't take the time to check things out. So anyway, spiritualism, they teach these courses on how to be a medium and allegedly contact the dead and so forth. It's just a scam. It's all a scam operation. These are things that magicians do. Sometimes they call it hot reading, cold reading. It's basically you're milking the person that is your client, your customer. You're milking them for information. There's certain questions you can ask, and then you can just toy with people's minds. There's a really good video. I posted it on my Facebook timeline, and I'm going to post it again. So if you haven't seen it, come to my Facebook. It's really worth it to check this video out, because this is a guy in England, and he made everything up, and he brought in 3 mediums, and he wanted to know how this certain guy died. And so these 3, they come in one at a time. They all give different versions of what happened. And then at the end of each reading, he tells each one, this guy never existed. And one lady, she tries to lie her way out of it some more. And she says, I knew that. See, Spirit told me I was going to be tested. She's trying to still justify. She's trying to hang in there. It's like an old pair of Fruit of the Loom underwear. And it's so old that the fruits are just barely hanging on. That's the kind of liar she is. See, he fed them, yeah? He baited them. And what he did was he made a website previously describing this man and this candy factory. The only thing that was true was that, yes, the building was a candy factory. That was the only thing that was true. But the owner was somebody different. And he just grabbed the old picture from anywhere off the internet and just said, this is the owner, and he put the name underneath. So then what these mediums would do, they would say, okay, I'm getting the name George. I think the last name starts with a B. See, they checked out the website. The website was loaded with false information. So what they did was they already researched it, and they were using information from that website, and all that time the guy tricked them. All that information was lies. That man doesn't even exist. And there was a reason why he chose the name Bull, because the whole thing was bullshit. It's a really good video. This is exactly what the so-called mediums do. And one guy doesn't have the internet, so what he did was he saw the nameplate under the picture, but then he was trying to deny that he saw it. But I have really bad eyesight. I can't read, you know. Well, if he had bad eyesight, it's lucky he even found the place. So, lies, lies, lies. It's all it is. It's a con. It's nothing but a con. So, why do people fall for that? Remember, in Lakota Star Knowledge, one of the principles that comes after the basic foundation, one of the next principles, is something called like attracts like. You attract what you are. So when you fall for these kind of people, that says something about you. You have to wonder about that. See, these guys, they know how this works. They know how to fool you. They know how to gain your confidence. That's what con man means. They gain your confidence and then pull the rug out from under you when you least expect it. And then they have your money. And you think you have all this knowledge from the beyond, and it was just all made up. This is how that works. It's a scam. Now, in spiritualism, in the early 1900s, they have all these pictures of people going into trances and this ectoplasm. I can't believe they actually use that word even. But when you see these ectoplasm, you see it coming out of their nostrils, their ears, their mouths, their eyes, wherever there's an opening. And this is supposed to be from the beyond. And in this ectoplasm, there's faces and this ecto stuff, and this is supposed to be of people who died. But if you look really closely at these photos, they're all portraits. Everybody's posing. Everybody is posing. They're all portraits. This is early 20th century Photoshop. It's trick photography. See, I did a seminar at this school. They were doing something on Indians, and they wanted an Indian presenter, so they contacted me, and I went and did check that out. And I had no idea what spiritualism was. And somebody there gifted me with a book called What is Spiritualism? So I read it, and I did my research on the internet and checked everything out. And I figured out how they do it. It's a scam. It's just a scam. And I looked at these photos really closely, and I figured out this is trick photography. I know how they do this. So they wanted me to do this again the next year. So I went back and I was talking about Indians, you know, how things are on the res and a little bit stories and stuff like that. The second time that I came back, among the presenters, I was telling them, I said, you know what, I read this book, What is Spiritualism? And there's Estelle Roberts and all this, and now I got a lot of information. I said, and you guys are calling yourselves mediums and you say you do this, I'd like to see it. I didn't say it like, I want to see if this is real. And I didn't say it like that. I said, I really would like to see one of your seances. I would like to see this. It really interests me. I said, I was honest. I wasn't trying to test them out to see if they were fake or not. I really, really did want to see if this ectoplasm really exists. And they said, oh, no, we don't do that anymore. And I was like, oh, geez, that's too bad. Because I, for one, would really want to see it. Oh, no, we receive impressions. And they're like, aha, okay. See, they're toning it down because today there's technology. You can sneak in your little phones. Even then, this was 2008, even then there were cell phones that could record. And so now you can catch them. So now they're toning their act down. So they were fake. And like attracts like, I decided not to work with them anymore. I can't work around crap like that. So that was the end of that. You are what you attract. And that happened at this seminar too. There were people there that only came to see me. And so they kept in contact with me after that. And they said, hey, if you're ever in Ireland, let us know and stuff like that. So they only wanted to be with me. Like attracts like. Yeah, the good people found each other in this group of 100 people. The good people found each other. Like attracts like. That's a natural law. So you can transform a crazy experience into something really nice. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this video. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to send a special thanks in support of this channel, look at the bottom of this video where the title is, and right under that, where it says like, dislike, and share, right in that area, slide it towards the left, and you will see the symbols change, and then you will see a heart-shaped button that says thanks on it. If you would like to click on there to send your thanks of support, I would really appreciate it, as I really do enjoy making these videos and speaking with you and spending some time with you. So again, thank you very much for listening. To learn more about Lakota spirituality, I have written a book called Wichocha Otechike. This book also includes Lakota Star Knowledge information. All the videos that I make, which are about Lakota spirituality, Lakota Star Knowledge, and cultural information, are based on this book. This book costs 99 American dollars. This price includes the shipping cost as well as a tracking number. And to learn more about Lakota language, I have written a Lakota language book called Chante Etanha Owoglake, Speaking from the Heart. And all my Lakota language videos are based on this book. This book costs 119 American dollars. This price includes the shipping cost as well as a tracking number. I also teach online, and I give spiritual consultations as well. If you are interested in any of my services and products, you can send payment via PayPal to my email address, which is hehaka7@yahoo.com. That's HEHAKA, the number 7@yahoo.com. When you send your payment, please include your shipping address and your email address. Lila Pilamayelo, thank you very much. In the Lakota way, everything is circular. As a result, we do not have a word for goodbye in the Lakota language, and so instead we say until next time, which in Lakota is Doksha Ake. And I will catch you in the next video.